everybody, my name is Dani. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be looking at the subreddit r/PettyRevenge. This is a Christmas gift revenge.
And this is for you.
Thanks.
This was about 23 years ago. My husband was lousy at giving gifts. He would get what he wanted for himself.
It's not about you, douchebag.
That year, I came home to a large box wrapped up about 10 days before Christmas, and he said it was for me. He was so excited. Mind you, we've always been pretty broke, so we, or I should say I, always bought for our children and his greedy family because my mother-in-law demands it.
How many are there?
36. Counted them myself.
36, but last year I had 37!
We always did without. For some reason, I wasn't that excited about this gift. Call it intuition. Well, Christmas Eve comes and we open gifts. He gets all excited, telling me that I'm going to love his present. I open the box to find a shop vac. We had hardwood and linoleum, so I always swept and mopped and had no need for it. He told me that it's wonderful because it cleans up the garage, which is his domain.
But wait! There's more!
It even picks up water. And he said it worked great because he already tried it before wrapping it up. I was pissed. He bought it for himself. I would have been happy with a $5 necklace that turned my neck green.
Moms like stuff too.
That night, I wouldn't even go to bed with him. He came into the living room where I was laying down and told me to come to bed. I told him I wouldn't because I couldn't look at him. He then tells me how I was extremely selfish because gifts were meant to be what we as a family could use, not what we would want. I laid there all night and plotted my revenge.
Excellent.
I had to wait for a year, but like they say, revenge is a dish best served cold. I kept quiet and told nobody of my plan for revenge. 50 weeks later, I found it. I wasn't even looking for it, but it was staring right at me, as they say, so here I am and it is time. It was in a huge box. I quickly purchased the gift, got some wrapping paper for it, and hid it. Didn't want any sneaky peeks. Christmas Eve, while he was at work, I put the present under the tree, took 2 rolls of cheap wrapping paper, and put some ribbon and a bow on it. It also had a nice weight to it. We start opening gifts, and I wait a bit. Finally, his eyes light up seeing this big box and finding out it was his. He was so excited, and I told him that this is specially bought for him. He opens the box to find a case of toilet paper.
Toilet paper? Toilet paper.
I then quoted him, "Christmas was not for what we would want, but what we as a family need or could use." We all wipe. He was furious. He complained to his brothers and everyone. My family and his brothers told him that he deserved the toilet paper. To this day, no husband in my family will ever buy a vacuum cleaner for their wives as gifts. I'm glad at least that this story has a good ending. It sounds like OP's husband learned a lesson, and I have to say not everybody would have learned from that. What she did was so perfect and honestly more useful than the shop vac he got for her, which is something only he would use, but everybody wipes, as she says. Everybody So, absolutely wonderful. I purposely farted in front of the guy at the gym because he wouldn't take no for an answer. I go to the gym to work out and decompress. I don't see it as a place to be social. I wear large over-the-ear headphones. I was at the gym and just finished one of my sets for deadlifts when a guy walks over. This is something I'm used to, despite how much I dislike it. But he starts talking to me and I'm able to pick up he's flirting. I'm polite and waiting for the proper moment to end the conversation. When he asks for my number, I decline. He keeps talking and going into the usual shtick of why not and come on.
Wanna do the monkey with me?
At that point, I'm very uncomfortable and also annoyed because my workout timer has already gone up and it's past time for me to start my next set. I put on my big girl pants and tell him he's making me uncomfortable and I just want to finish my workout. Does he leave? No. He keeps talking now, going on about how he didn't mean it like that and he's not a bad guy.
Nice guys finish last, that's why I'll treat you like trash.
No actual apology to be found. Now, during this entire interaction, I've had to fart. I was being polite and holding it in until he left, but seeing as he's not, I think, well, I know a way to get him to leave. As he is still talking, I let it go. It's silent, but rather smelly. It only takes about 2 seconds for him to catch a whiff. He stops talking, and the face he makes is too much that I have to bite my lip to stop laughing. That's when he gives me a look of, "Are you serious?" And then he finally leaves, and I'm left alone to finish my workout. I love this revenge. Not only does it most likely instantly make you less attracted to this man and scares him off a bit, but it is hilarious. I wish I could just keep one in the chamber for awkward situations like that, although I don't know if I would ever actually have the guts to go through with it.
Do it.
The only downside now is that OP has to marinate in her own fart while she finishes her sets. My school denies me my prescription. I told them I wanted to call a parent. Little did they know. I had a problem where I got migraines. Finally got a prescription for them, non-narcotic, and took it straight to the nurse's office because the district had a zero tolerance policy about being in possession of even a Tylenol, which would get you expelled for drug possession.
Why do you need such a big bag of oregano?
Dani's Italian?
The nurse said, "You're going to have to get a doctor's signature on this form." I said, "Why? It's a legitimate prescription with my name on it in the original bottle." The nurse condescendingly says, "We're required to have a doctor's signature before we can dispense medications." Me giving 0 Fs. How do you think I got the prescription in the first place?
You have to use your mind.
The nurse decided to impress upon me the fact that I was powerless here and that there was absolutely nothing I could do except comply. I left the office stressed because I didn't have access to my migraine medicine, and of course ended up stressing myself into developing a migraine. Call me a Karen, but I felt entitled to go to the nurse's office and be dispensed my medication, so I politely requested it to be given to me. The nurse obviously told me no, so I asked for the principal. I got the assistant principal, who simply reiterated the district policy. Then it occurred to me that it was within my power to get my medicine. Because I had a secret weapon, so I had to be sneaky. I said, "I'd like to call one of my parents." The phone call wasn't intended for my dad, a financial consultant. It wasn't to my mom, who worked in sales and advertising. Of course I wasn't calling Stepmonster, but my stepdad, on the other hand, just happened to be our region's most famous radio talk show host at the time, and he was on the air for another 2 hours. The assistant principal brought me the phone book, those existed back then, and I looked up the radio station's number in the yellow pages without the assistant principal figuring out which business I was calling. I called the radio station and got the front desk. Of course, lots of people call them. I asked for my stepfather and get absolutely nowhere. But I knew they would interrupt his show and he'd take the call if I told them I was his daughter, Royal. In all my life, I never had a situation that warranted me calling him at work. I was hoping he would take the call while on air, but he didn't want to air what was likely private business. So he put commercials on while I explained the situation. Then I suppressed a shit-eating grin while handing the phone to the assistant principal to talk to my stepdad, Bill. I managed a poker face. The assistant principal didn't realize he was talking to Bill Jones when he dismissed my concerns, and even suggested I should be denied my medication simply due to my pants, which I'd been wearing half the year without a problem, but apparently were a uniform violation that day. The assistant principal basically explained that's just how it is and tough luck, and did not realize the crap he just stepped into. He hung up, dismissed me, and walked off looking pretty satisfied at winning this little power trip. I went to class feeling victorious. I hadn't won yet, but I'd played my cards and knew how it would turn out. My stepdad got back on air and immediately changed the topic of discussion to the ridiculousness of the district's medication policy.
Let's talk about that.
The phone lines lit up. Turns out lots of people wanted to air their complaints. I was sitting in class, migraine kicking in, but I was feeling satisfied that their lack of respect for me and all other more powerless students was hitting the fan. I timed it. 45 minutes after I was arrogantly denied my legally prescribed medication that I needed, the assistant principal came into the classroom I was in, knelt down beside my desk, and whispered, "Hey, you want to come take your medication?" The fallout, even more fun, because the school wanted desperately to expel me. But while I 100% can be a troublemaker when I want to be, evidence this post, I never did anything for which I could have defensively been disciplined. They had nothing on me. They knew it, and I knew it. And they knew they couldn't get away with making crap up because my stepdad was Bill Jones.
I'm here to save you, or my name isn't Jerry Smith.
All of my friends were seniors, and the school admins didn't realize until the last day of school that I was a junior. I could see the panic in the assistant principal's eyes. He said to me, "You can take one summer course in English and you'll be able to graduate early."
No.
I said, absolutely not. I haven't submitted any college applications, and most of the competitive schools require more than the basic minimum to graduate. I'll be here for another year. The assistant principal said, "Would you like to take your high school classes at the community college instead? You'll get high school and college credit." This program was barely heard of at the time, but they wanted to get rid of me so badly, I got to rack up a year's worth of college general education credits during my senior year. They tried to screw me over, so I screwed back, and since they couldn't punish me, they rewarded me just to get me to go away. I love that OP was able to use their power for good. They were not the only person being screwed over by this system. It seems like such an absurd power trip to keep students from getting their necessary medications. It also seems like it could be a lawsuit.
A lawsuit has begun.
Like, what if somebody had a seizure medication, then has a seizure with terrible side effects? What a dumb policy. Not even Tylenol? I'm so happy everything worked out for OP, and they were able to get a year's worth of college credits for free. So awesome. That was r/PettyRevenge. If you liked this video, give it a like, subscribe for more content, and I'll see you next time. Bye!